Thanks Upside for sponsoring this video. And today's video start off with a big brisket. Now this is a special one, as it is a Wagyu brisket. When you look at the exterior, you won't be able to tell. However, when you're gonna cook a brisket, the first thing you gotta do is to trim it. The first thing I like to do is to remove some of the fat, and most importantly, give it a nice shape. And don't worry, none of the trimmings are gonna go to waste. But when I flip it upside down, now you can really tell that this is a special brisket, especially because of its marbling. Now you're probably asking, why would you soak this brisket in wine? Well, it's pretty simple. I've done an experiment with steaks, and it turned out phenomenal. I really enjoyed the flavor. It was out of this world. Since brisket is a tough piece of meat to cook, I'm hoping that the wine is gonna make it extra good. As you can clearly see, once I was done, this brisket is now ready for this experiment. And for that, we're gonna need wine, a generous amount of it. Now people have been cooking with wine for many years. First, we need a nice large container. Then we're gonna need a lot of wine. So I went ahead and started with one bottle. That didn't even make a dent, so we had to get a lot more. But once I got it filled up, I slowly lowered down the brisket into the wine, making sure to get full coverage. That is the key here. So now that I knew that everything was ready, into my refrigerator it goes. Now the important thing here is that every single day I'll be flipping this brisket. That's because I want to make sure that the wine is really doing its job, and it will remain here for a whole month. Once the time was up, I took it out and look. You can clearly see that the wine is no longer wine, and a lot of the meat juices got out. And as soon as I lifted the brisket, oh boy, this thing has completely changed. I mean, it's really expected to change color, but you can clearly see that the wine really did its thing. And as soon as I laid it down on the cooling rack, you can have a better view. This thing looks gnarly. And I'll tell you one thing, friends, the smell that is coming out of this thing is wonderful, especially if you love the smell of wine. And I have a feeling that it penetrated deeply in there. So my next step was to pat it dry. As of right now, I really had high hopes, and I think this is gonna turn out fantastic. Once that was done, I went ahead and transferred it to a cutting board. Now, at least to me, it looks like zombie meat. This thing is insane. However, it smells like blueberry candy. It is really, really wonderful. But now that we got this brisket ready, the next thing to do is to go ahead and get it seasoned. For that, I kept it real simple with a generous amount of salt and black pepper. Notice that I'm using coarse pepper. This will give a nice bark to the brisket. And obviously, always season both sides. Because once that was done, I wasn't finished. I'm gonna allow the wine to dry even more so that we can get a wonderful crust. So into the cooling rack it goes, and back to the refrigerator for an additional week. Once the time was up, take a look. This is what I expected. We got a nice little crust. The salt is completely gone since it penetrated deeply in there, and it is now ready for the smoker. And for today's video, I'm going to be cooking it in the offset. It produces an incredible flavor, and if you love barbecue, you can definitely tell the differences between this and a pellet cooker. The only big problem around cooking it here is that you really gotta control the fire, feeding it as many times as necessary for the entire cook. And this is gonna take a while. And as that was happening, it was perfect because it allowed me time to go ahead and make an awesome side dish. And this one is about to make everyone happy. And the best part is that it is super simple and easy to make. The first thing we need is some ribs. These are St. Louis ribs. Unlike the traditional way of cooking it, I'll be using it as a vessel. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim a little bit of the edges, as I need to make sure the whole thing can fold into itself. Once that was done, I went ahead and seasoned it with my barbecue rub. Next, to make things easier and smoother, I went ahead and cut up a little bit of the edges. That way everything will fold nice and easy. Because take a look. All we have to do now is to tie it to hold everything together. Since this is now ready, I went ahead and transferred it to a cooling rack, and into a 275-degree smoker it goes. And as that was going, I went ahead and made a wonderful mac and cheese. You first want to add a generous amount of butter. Once it's fully melted, you want to go ahead and throw in some all-purpose flour and cook that up for a little bit. Once you have done so, you want to go ahead and add heavy cream. We're making this thing extra creamy. As you whisk, it will start thickening up on you. Then you want to add your favorite types of cheese. For this one, I'll be using cheddar and smoked Gouda, which I think makes a perfect combination for it. Only thing left to do is to mix it and make sure everything is fully melted. As in the end, take a look. We are left with the perfect sauce. As now you want to go ahead and cook your pasta. For that, you just want to follow the instructions in the package. You want to go ahead and combine both together, mix everything well, because if you time everything right, by now your ribs should be fully cooked. As now you want to go ahead and add a generous amount of barbecue sauce. Make sure to be generous with it though, as this will be a perfect combination with the mac and cheese. And do not forget the inside. As once that's done, inside the mac and cheese go, make sure to be generous with it. Add a tiny bit of Parmesan cheese right on top, and of course a tiny bit of parsley to be healthy. As in the end, you are left with this ribs mac and cheese. I can promise you one thing, friends, this is going to be phenomenal, as I have a feeling it's gonna pair up perfectly with our brisket. You can clearly see that it's getting there, but it's not even close to being done. So you really want to keep the fire going so that you can cook this whole thing. And after about 8 hours, we got a beautiful brisket with a wonderful bark. However, we're not done yet. Inside I went and grabbed some parchment paper. Then I slathered a generous amount of Wagyu fat. I made sure to cover the entire butcher's paper with it, because remember what this experiment is all about: wine. So I went ahead and placed my brisket in there, added a little bit more of that Wagyu fat. I went ahead and wrapped the whole thing, made sure it was nice and tight, as back into the smoker it goes for an additional 4 hours. Once the whole thing was done, I let the whole thing rest in my oven overnight. As the very next day, I went ahead and opened the whole thing up and take a look at this brisket. It is exactly what I was looking for. And obviously I did not let any of that juice go to waste. And as soon as I took my first slice, two things immediately hit me: the juiciness and the wonderful smell of bread. Every time I took another slice, it was smelling better and better. But now the question is, how will this brisket taste? Is this even worth it, or a complete disaster? Well, we're about to find out right now. As now I say, it is enough talking and it is time to eat, so let's do it.
Before moving forward, I want to thank today's sponsor, Upside. The start of a new year is the perfect time to get your finances right. And in a time where things are starting to get more and more expensive, Upside is here to help people save money on everyday purchases. Upside is a free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials. I'm talking about gas, groceries, and dining. All you have to do is open up the app, find an offer on whatever you're buying on Upside, pay how you normally would, follow the steps in the app, and get paid. The best part is that it is real cash back. No more complicated points or reward systems. Just straight cash to transfer directly to your bank account. With over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app, you can earn cash back from all your favorite places. Whether I'm filling up my car at a Shell, getting lunch at Chipotle, or grabbing dessert at Dairy Queen, I'm constantly earning cash back. So what are you waiting for? Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month. To find out how much you can earn, click the link on the description to download Upside and use code GUGA10 to get an extra $10 cash back on your first restaurant or grocery purchase. Or scan the QR code here to claim this offer. Thanks Upside for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get right back to it.
All right, everybody, and here we have our beautiful feast. Gentlemen, what do you guys think, huh?
Guga, I'm hungry and it smells amazing in here.
Yeah, so we have a little experiment going on. As you can see, I have some nice, beautiful brisket over here. This is a very special brisket. It took me a long time to make it. And most importantly, it is a Wagyu brisket. It's quite expensive, okay? I want your honest opinion. This is what we're judging. But first, before we try this, I want you guys to tell me about this. Can you tell what this is?
I see ribs sticking out.
That's right, it is ribs. So I'm gonna go ahead and slice this open. Check it out. This is to compensate for no control brisket, yeah?
Wow, okay.
So the idea here is you want to grab a piece of both at the same time to see the combination between them both, you know? I have a feeling it's going to be phenomenal. Come on, mac and cheese and ribs together. Is there any way that that's not going to be amazing?
This can't be bad.
All right, let's give it a try. Give me your honest opinion. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh. That is the most incredible combination, seriously. It's in a whole nother level, everybody. When you combine ribs and mac and cheese together, wow, almost brings tears to my eyes.
This is like butter on popcorn. I'm actually so surprised at how good this is together.
This is delicious. That barbecue sauce caramelized beautifully on the exterior of the ribs. They're very nice and juicy on the inside too, but not like too tender where they're just falling off the bone. And it's really nice to get a little bit of sweetness with that savory, creamy mac and cheese. Damn.
It is phenomenal. It's one of the reasons why when we make barbecue, we always have mac and cheese there. It's just like, highly recommend giving it a try. Give it a go. You're not gonna regret it. But now we're gonna go for this brisket. Now here's the deal with this brisket. You went through a big process. Smell it and let me know what you guys think. Let's see.
What did you do, bro? This does not smell like a normal brisket.
No, not at all.
It smells a little bit smoky, but there's something here.
Well, let's give it a try. Give me your honest opinion on this one. And I really want to know. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Oh, nice side.
This is gonna sound strange, but it reminds me of like a pie.
A pie?
Yeah, you remember we went to Montana and they made like I think it was like a huckleberry pie. I'm eating a Wagyu brisket and getting blueberry pie flavor. Tell me that's not weird.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's weird. No, yeah, I would say that's weird. Huckleberry pie is weird. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting like a bread, like some sort of bread type of flavor.
Yeah, 100%.
Weird, but it's good.
It tastes very unique, everybody. And since this is a Wagyu brisket, it brings down the fattiness from the Wagyu brisket.
Yeah.
It's in the fat. You can feel it in that. Like when the fat is melting in your mouth, you can feel that's a weird flavor there. Like,
Is it weird in a good way or in a bad way? Would you recommend this or not? What are you guys thinking?
I actually think it's a good kind of weird.
It's a good kind of weird. Okay.
Yeah, because with brisket, and especially a Wagyu brisket, it can be a little bit overpowering with how fatty and rich and savory it is. But this flavor that you added to it mixes it up a little bit. It takes away a little bit of the savoriness, so it's not as overpowering, and you can kind of like enjoy the actual flavor of the smoke, the brisket, the meat more.
I like it. I like it. I'm with you. You don't like it, you like it?
I can eat this. This is okay. I would give it like a 7 or 8.
Oh, 7, 8. Okay, out of 10. That's okay.
I say it's weird, but I keep going back for more and more. Like it's unique, and it makes me want to keep eating it. It's good.
By the way, I dry aged this one in wine.
Oh, it's good.
It's
It's
good.
not bad at all.
It's-
It's
I
all
think
right.
this guy was scared for his life on what I actually put it in there. But now that you know it's wine, it's not that bad.
I don't get any wine flavor.
I guess it's like a fermented flavor. That's why I
Yes, the
kept thinking
fermentation of the
bread.
wine came through, and also I understand you're getting like a pie kind of feel. It's all the yeast and everything going on in there. It gives a wonderful flavor to the brisket. I have a feeling that if you enjoy wine, bread, and that fermented flavor, you will enjoy this brisket because it brings an additional type of flavor on the meat that is enjoyable, at least to me. I don't know about for you guys, but I enjoy it quite a bit.
Look, we've had thousands of different briskets at this point, and I've never tried anything like that. That's
It's quite
saying something.
unique.
It's
Yeah.
good.
100%. We like funky stuff, and I like it. You like?
I like it.
You like?
2 thumbs up.
There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.